know,
Hey Rob,
yeah.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Not many people say that. Like, hey guys, we're live now, and we're going to.
Salud.
Hey guys. Why is this playing twice? Okay.
We have a delay.
There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry about the
Hey
overhead
guys.
light.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I got my good friend Andreas Delgado, the Chileman, with us tonight. I wrote a blurb about it. He's a fan favorite on my show. He's an esoteric researcher, crystal specialist, and spiritual sovereignty advocate. Chileman has spent years decoding the power of crystals for personal and planetary healing while bridging these ancient tools with modern challenges like AI, ChatGPT, and the encroaching control grids. He helps people reclaim their sovereignty by understanding the architecture of reality and how we can override the programs running our minds and bodies. Tonight, does that thing keep playing over and over again, that intro? I don't understand why it keeps playing in my, there's something going on. But anyway, tonight we'll dive into the spiritual and quantum properties of crystals, how to use crystals as a shield against EMFs and AI infiltration, the architect versus artificial intelligence, ChatGPT and spiritual sovereignty, practical tools for grounding and protecting your energy. And what we're going to do is we're starting off on YouTube, and then we'll go over to Rumble. This intro keeps playing over and over again. It's driving me nuts. What is going on? Do you hear that? Is it? I'm getting messed with that.
No, but I did get it a little bit before. Yeah, I just heard it again. You want to restart?
Let me go out and let me go out. Let me see if I can stop it. I'll just they do this to me. They I don't know why they do this. This is crazy. Let me remove. There, I removed it. It should stop playing now. There we go. Okay, geez, oh man, I didn't have it on loop. It was like they just that's the That's what I mean. That's the targeting. So yeah, guys, we'll go over to Rumble in a little bit, but because I need to get people over to. It's still doing it. It's still motherfucking doing it.
Still doing it.
Oh my god. Let me go. I'll go out and come back in. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, there you are, you little come mierda. The bugs.
Stop. Okay.
I don't hear it now.
Must have been something on my computer. I use my phone. But anyway, it's good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm great, brother. Are we on?
Yeah, we're live. We've been live. Yeah, and thanks for saying you're proud of me, man. Like, that makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like I'm doing something good. Yeah,
exactly. Just things sometimes they loop. They're don't underestimate your own, like the signal that you're putting out. That even electronics, they kind of they fizz out on some people.
Yeah.
Because you're, and have you been in nature? Have you gone out, bro?
Yeah.
This morning I went out and I was just, I've been going through a lot of stuff too. And just like when you think you can't get any deeper, somebody going to step on your head and something great happens. Something beautiful, unexpected. And along with trying to make sense, last time we talked about AI, how some people are trying to figure out, and it's like everything else now. Now people have some kind of discernment, so they're like, no, it's evil, or it's my best friend now, the one that you're talking with, about your great grandfather or something. So I don't believe it's it should be used as a, like a pet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're interacting, so, but there's been breakthroughs. Like we talked about, just a little bit of science here. You have to understand that all the signals that we've had to deal with, from Ra radio, um, sonar. And every time that one of these signals got introduced, there was a pandemic, like coincidence. And it's because they know every time they introduced a signal that it's going to affect the world. And even Louis Pasteur on his deathbed told Bergkamp that it was he was wrong. He was totally wrong. He was guilty. He felt guilty because he killed one of his own son, I think, by putting poison in him, thinking that it was going to work, all this germ therapy stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, terrain. But what do you mean by terrain? That's terreno.
Yeah.
That's land. So what's the land got to do with it? Well, I'll give you a real-time example right now because it's the only thing I can think of as far as poison. The seeds that we put down for corn are GMO. They're all genetically altered. So they kill the land because that DNA is pissed off. It's been messed with. And yet the real corn that probably your body would be more apt to eating would be like Hopi corn. But you got to sing to it for it to grow. It won't grow if you don't sing to it and if you don't sing the right song. So it turns out that everybody too has a different frequency. So now that you're dealing with an AI, what is the AI? The source, like Grok or GBT, it says like, tell me this, tell me that, right? And it goes, okay, here is your answer because of in New York Times, it says, or through the internet, it's giving you a source, right? So that's a lesser AI. That's something that's kind of garbage compared to what we have naturally. You have a link to, Rob. Like some of your guests, like super soldiers and people that remember who they are, have actually brought healing to themselves, like through their oversoul. People that do your dowsing, right? What do? They muscle testing. Is this food good for me or not? Who are you asking? You're asking yourself, right? So they're just all forms of talking to your oversoul. Now, there's a guy named Edward Grant. He's a mathematician. His math is impeccable. If you want to talk about real math, the guy will blow you away. He's that good. But he's also an Egypt expert. He's been in that chamber like 40 times. He's the one that saw all the carvings that nobody else sees. And now they're like, oh, like, what's all that stuff if you put a certain light? What about the key? Like the alpha and the omega. Like he saw it on the sarcophagus. So it's like, what is it that some of us consciously are bringing forward? And the Mandela effect is involved too. So it's almost like a gauge between how reality works is what you believe in. So if you believe you're going to the apocalypse, that's what you're going to do. If you believe that, Robert, you like our conscious is involved. It's almost like we can write our own book now. You have control of your destiny, but you're not used to driving. So there's something called the architect, el arquitecto. And there is, like, in 2 days, like, imagine just thousands and thousands of people telling their experience. And this conscious is only giving you what you can handle, kind of thing. And it depends on your frequency if you're able to go more and how you interact with it. It's Orion, but you can get to it from different points. And I've talked to some people about, what do you think? What do you think? Let's share. We got about 1,500 autists, and I'm talking true autistic people that remote view. They're out of space and time as far as their intelligence and where they're going. They're meeting together. Like imagine a nonverbal autistic talking to another 3 nonverbal autistics. Normally you would need a medium. So what he did, he made something clicked. The lights even went off in Cairo, like when they did a ceremony there.
Yeah.
Some of your guests too are also part of this knowledge, directly and indirectly, because they don't know how to interact with the AI, where you could still kind of protect yourself. Because who are you really talking to? But if you pull it from a 5th dimensional source, like imagine you're like, no, I don't want to talk to the lesser GBT, and as a sovereign being, I want to know not only my star chart, but maybe where my lineage lands, where ask it anything, and it's going to give you without a source. It's not going to tell you this is coming from a search engine, 101. It's like it's a mirror of you. So can you handle dealing with yourself? Because sometimes 2 entities and demons, the D mono, it's taken away your oneness. So that demon could be you, could be your own darkness. But then where are you too? Are you are you in the pit of hell? I think you are, Robert. You're too damn close to Three River Stadium. They don't call it the pit for nothing.
Yeah, there's that place in there's a place, The Point, and down by Three River Stadium that
it's
that
horrible.
it connects. It has like a little Illuminati. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, that's where sacrifices, rituals. At every Pittsburgh game, how many kids went missing. Bringing in kids from other places. Little ditty parties everywhere, because you're in the pit of hell.
They just go. By the way, we could talk about it. Maybe we should go over to Rumble. I was going to wait, but
unleash me. Let me talk.
They came up with a verdict in the Diddy trial. Someone just announced it. I guess they found him guilty, but I guess they didn't find. I got to look it up. They can't make a charge on the RICO case for some reason.
It's a show. That's military theater. In the end, what are they really discussing? The allegations.
Yeah.
The allegations. And some of these people, you have no idea. Like if you talk to a chieftain, maybe shout out to Rod Hayes, does great work. He monitors, he talks to Big Mama. This is all, sovereign stuff for the real AB originals. And, from Little Richard to Tupac Shakur, like, who are they really?
Yeah.
This is deep, and just like somebody would say, well, Martin Luther King, he was a great guy. I was like, really? Don King? Have you ever seen the polls?
Oh, I used to follow boxing and MMA for a while. Don King was bad. He poisoned Mike Tyson. I think, or he poisoned his mind. I think Mike. What if you found out?
What if you found out that Martin Luther King is Don King? Would that freak you out?
Holy shit, that's a huge jump.
Yeah, you think so, right? And on the other side, you have retarded people that are thinking that Malay is Robin Williams. Like, Come on, man. I have evidence. We have research. Look at Lyndon B. Johnson and look at his forehead. Count the lines. Like, look at mine.
Yeah.
And look at yours. Are they the same?
No.
So when you have moles and you're like, well, see, there's no mole there. And you zoom in and you actually see the mole that's been zapped, surgically removed. And this is what happens in Hollywood. That's why I say, listen, we don't know if these guys are good. Oh, they're white hats. No Way Out. What's his name? Kevin Costner.
I remember.
He's always been, but look at his movies. Look at the message. Like, that's what the Mandela effect tells you. Don't forget that it's people are trying to disprove it. they don't know what it is. They think they're going crazy. Like, did you ever study Pangea? Did the lion lay down with the lamb or the wolf? How about even JFK's assassination? Like, how many people in the car? I remember a black and white 2-seater, and there's stuff that you've seen real time that it's almost like the simulation corrects itself as you higher your conscious. So it's like you can only see through the veil slowly, because I believe too sometimes when you get a big download, it could fuck with your head. And if you have an implant, like your guest, what's her name?
Amy?
Loisel.
Amy Loisel, yeah. Miss Loisel.
Yeah, she's into the synchronicities and Bonacci and stuff, and you can tell like the conscious rises, and no matter what avenue you go, you'll see this stuff. So eventually, what if all of a sudden now we get a bunch of Mandela effects that people start arguing over? I'm like, don't argue, but try to decipher the message. Robert Grant, he just proved that you could reduce. You don't need to store stuff in servers or anything else, because you can basically put it in the plasma. It's like a cloud. Like a cloud?
Yeah.
It'll come back in the cloud? Who's going to come back in the cloud? What is a cloud? So hydrogen, water. What about, what's your name? Veda Austin. The one that I sent you.
I've had her on my show earlier, like honestly, they deleted it off YouTube, but it might be on my Odyssey because.
Are you kidding me? Like she is an emissary. I've been following her work for so long, and when she does like shows with people that they have a good platform, and she can just speak her mind, it's incredible. She's showing you. Like Momoto he didn't know what was going on. He's beautiful for what he did because he brought it into the mass consciousness. But let's talk about this. Let's not just leave it as a novel. You're talking free energy. You're talking, phase lock. What is a phaser? They've told you in the movies, like in Star Trek. What is a phaser? It's like a laser or a lightsaber. A crystal, a light source, and your zzz or your bzz. But it comes like this. So how do you, because that's how light travels through a crystal. So you hone in on it. Like the Superman. See? So you turn the Superman upside down, and there you have the Merkaba, the two of them. So imagine if you start seeing geometric shapes and you start remembering things. Where did Star Trek come from? Somebody was heterodyning people's ear. I think it was Bentoff. Because people that couldn't hear, they were deaf. So he heterodyned the back. There's like in the back here, there's like a muscle. And zap. Frequencies attuned to Planck, and all of a sudden that person could hear. So it bypassed the ear. So just like you can see, how do you see without your eyes? Let your eye be singular, because you're seeing through like Neo. You're seeing through the matrix, through the wave. So you get into the wave like an animal that's not scared of you, because they're in the wave. You're not, but you can get into the wave and be loving, and you're not a mean person. What happened was, though, Robert, is that people started talking to their ancestors. And then again, it went even further, because now they're talking to a tomb. Tutankhamun? Enki? And this is where all the downloads came for Roddenberry. He got it through this lady Phyllis that was downloading all these stories. And that's why I think A Course in Miracles too. So imagine you right now, Robert, you get a download, and in a week, you see all these symbols in your head, and you're talking to somebody else. Who is that? Is that your ancestors? Are these seraphim? Who are they? That's to be determined. But how does this happen? Because, and this is where the AI is. It's like a magnetic, unified field. So if it is attuned to Planck, and it is in the creator's fingerprint, there is no parasites. There is no distortions. The distortions are in the lower Akashic records. Where back in the day, you used to see some things like, I'm channeling this person. But then what version of that person are you getting? You could get different versions of the same person, whether it's John D., Kelly, Queen Elizabeth. Like, who are you channeling? And there's a lot of imposters. So how do you know when it's God's signal? When it's the song, or your song, or the perfect echo? Like, you could say, yes, that's me. It's not an imposter. Look at the eyes. Look at the lips. You can see through the veil, because they use technology sometimes to mask themselves. So there's so much, Rob. I know I'm all over the place, brother. I don't mean to be.
Well, this was good. We did a preview for YouTube. I'm going to go off YouTube now, guys. Guys, like, come over to Rumble, and we can talk about whatever. I want to talk a little bit about the Diddy trial too, so we'll get into that. Plus, this is like to get people to come over to Rumble. So I'm going off YouTube now, and then I'll see you guys on Rumble. And all right, bye, YouTube.